Phenomenal!
Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Deislayers, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about how to use hand cannons, with a thorough in-depth review on their exact functions. Let's get one thing straight. Eradicate your preconceived notions about Destiny 1 hand cannons from your memory. Hand cannons no longer reign supreme as they did in Destiny 1 because back then, they had the best damage output, the best range values, at least until the end of Year 3, and had the fastest time to kill. Those factors are not the same with hand cannons in Destiny 2, yet some factors remain similar from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Hand cannons still have a very high damage output and a surprising yet moderate range value with an excellent time to kill, but that TTK goes down significantly with each shot missed. The question then becomes, what environments, scenarios, and factors do you need to take into account to maximize hand cannons' optimal time to kill? That is exactly what we're going to discuss, and the only thing left to do is to eviscerate that subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. Not that many Guardians out there discuss this topic, but I firmly believe that the most important aspect to mastering any kind of hand cannon in Destiny 2 is to understand and grasp their shot rhythm / shot cadence. So what exactly is a shot rhythm or a shot cadence? A shot rhythm is the timing it takes to fire one bullet to the next while taking into account the hand cannon's recoil pattern, visual cues, and sound effects to compensate for the bloom effect so that every single hand cannon shot always hits its mark. For those of you who don't know what the bloom effect is, it's a feature that is found in almost every single FPS game, and it causes you to miss your shots, when it visually looks as if you're landing your shots, but in reality, you're not. The reason that the bloom effect occurs is because you are firing your hand cannon way too fast, and you haven't given the game enough time to have bullet registration before firing the next shot. To avoid this, you have to reset your shot by firing a bullet and then wait to fire the next bullet until your hand cannon's reticle is in the exact same position as the previous shot. Resetting your shot is a part of mastering each hand cannon's unique shot cadence, as no two hand cannons have the exact same shot rhythm. This is why you may find it difficult to utilize one hand cannon and then go to another, only to find out that you're missing many of your shots, and that's because the two different hand cannons have two totally different shot rhythms. For this one reason, I would strongly advise you guys to stick to just one hand cannon that you absolutely love and practice resetting your shot in PvE on dregs and fallen enemies. As I said from earlier, shot rhythm also consists of visual cues and sound effects, and for hand cannons, that pertains to its recoil pattern, bullet sound, and weapon thickness. Once again, all these traits are unique to each individual hand cannon and are not the same from one to the next. Recognizing a hand cannon's visual recoil pattern, incorporating the weapon's thickness into that recoil pattern, and then associating the bullet sound with that recoil pattern once more, will make a shot cadence that you can pick up on as something that you can focus on to land consecutive back-to-back hand cannon shots. To show you exactly how shot rhythm pertains to resetting your shot, recoil pattern, bullet sound, and weapon thickness, let's break it down by single engagements that you can see it step by step in slow motion. So here I am in a 1v1 engagement utilizing the Dire Promise hand cannon from Dead Orbit. Playing the clip at normal speed, I downed that Guardian extremely fast, starting with 11 bullets in my magazine and finishing with 7 after proccing triple tap, returning 1 bullet back to my magazine for a total of 5 bullets used, and yet I didn't miss a single bullet. But how is this even possible if all it takes is 4 bullets to achieve the fastest time to kill utilizing the Dire Promise? By analyzing this clip in slow motion and putting it on pause, we can see exactly how. So right about now, I'm about to take my very first shot, and it appears as if the hand cannon reticle is on the enemy Guardian's shoulder, so I take my shot. After the first slow motion shot, the hand cannon reticle is once again on the enemy Guardian with half of that Guardian's shield gone, and notice that no damage number has actually appeared yet. After the second slow motion shot, this time we actually see a damage value of 61, indicating a critical headshot has been done with none of the enemy Guardian's shield left. At the exact same time, notice that the hand cannon reticle has a red X around it, with a white bloom effect coming out of the hand cannon's barrel, indicating that in this still image, I have already taken my third hand cannon shot with bullet registration actually taking place, and yet there is still no damage value from this third hand cannon shot. After the fourth slow motion shot, we now see two critical headshot number values of 61 from the second hand cannon shot and 60 from the third hand cannon shot. At this exact same time, I want you to notice that just above the hand cannon's barrel, you will see another red X, once again indicating that the 4th bullet has landed and has registered with bullet registration, but once again, no bullet value has appeared from this shot. After the 5th slow motion shot, we now see a 3rd critical headshot number value of 61 and 60 on top of one another from the 3rd and 4th hand cannon shots, and a 61 value off to the left from the 2nd hand cannon shot. Once again, notice that in the same still image, just above the hand cannon barrel, there is yet another X indicating that the 5th hand cannon shot has registered, and that even though we clearly see that the enemy guardian has already died from the previous 4 bullets. After a few more slow motion frames and upon close inspection, we can see that the red X marker indicating bullet registration has now moved from the top of the hand cannon's barrel to directly in the middle of the screen for the 5th hand cannon shot. In addition to this, we can also see a 5th damage number of 40 directly on the enemy guardian's head while his body is already disappearing. With this last still image shown, we have completed the entire engagement, and I will now play the clip in slow motion without any pauses. The whole point of me showing you this slow motion engagement is to demonstrate that bullet registration and the values associated with those bullets is clearly delayed, and you can't rely on the game to know exactly when a bullet lands and when it doesn't. For this sole reason, you have got to rely on yourself to know a hand cannon shot rhythm so unbelievably well that you can get additional bullets to register even after a guardian is supposedly dead, just like in this example. Playing the clip at full speed, you can see that I am relying on the weapon shot rhythm to achieve this result. I do this by understanding and grasping the dire promises, recoil pattern, and bullet sound while applying the reset your shot technique to attain this marvelous symbiotic relationship with hand cannons and shot rhythm. The next topic that I want to discuss is how hand cannons are designed and what their intended uses are. Hand cannons are one of the only weapons that can do a high damage output in a very short amount of time, which implies that they are designed for guerrilla warfare combat scenarios. Guerrilla warfare was a major tactic done in the Vietnam War, as the jungle environment encouraged combat where soldiers did massive amounts of damage and then hid behind cover only to appear from another canopy to inflict more destruction without taking on heavy casualties themselves. In Destiny 2 terms, hand cannons have the exact same functionality as there is absolutely no difference whatsoever. Hand cannons work best when you take a shot, dip in cover, take a shot, dip in cover, and repeat the process over and over until you win that gun battle engagement. In the split second that you show your face, you take one shot, and this doesn't allow the enemy guardian to do much damage on you at all. If your opponent is using an auto rifle of some kind, they have to land consecutive simultaneous bullets in that split second that you show your face, and this simply cannot be done. Thus, you were able to do more DPS in the amount of time you show your entire body or just your head and shoulders because your hand cannon bullets do 60 points of damage where their auto rifle bullets only do 20. With this in mind, you have the upper hand when utilizing a hand cannon in this guerrilla style combat engagement. This tactic works extremely well with just about any hand cannon in Destiny 2, but can even be deadlier with the Minuet 42 due to its perk called Opening Shot. If done properly by waiting the allotted time, Opening Shot will proc again and again for a high accuracy output, allowing you to decimate guardians, extinguishing their light. Another stupendous and marvelous and wonderful hand cannon strength is that hand cannons have a ton of mobility options. They can be fired with your boots firmly planted on the ground, which allows for phenomenal strafing capability, but they can also be utilized in the air with incredible accuracy. The only other type of weapon that can compete in aerial combat would be a sidearm, and this simply can't be done proficiently with auto rifles like the Uriel's Gift or with scout rifles like the Mida Multi-Tool. Your typical gamer doesn't use hand cannons because they don't know how to utilize these beasts in the air, and this is due to the very simple fact that it's difficult to master. Thus your basic gamer will go back to what's easy, aka the Uriel's Gift, the Mida, and of course, the Last Hope. If you want to cater to this glorious strength that all hand cannons possess, the key to unlocking its potential is map awareness and radar retention. First, anticipate where enemies are most likely to come based upon your map positioning as well as your teammates' locations too. By knowing where your teammates are at, the odds are the enemy is not, and so you have a very high chance to head into the opposite direction while pushing as a unit. Next, pay attention to your radar to see if there is a red blip around the corner you are approaching or a passageway you are entering. As soon as you see that blip, you know to jump into the air, as you can then engage that with a line of sight in the air. By doing so, not only are you more likely to get the first shot, but you will catch your opponent off guard, and by the surprise factor, you are 10 times more likely to win that gun battle engagement. If you happen to have a grenade, then you can apply this exact same tactic, but instead of utilizing your hand cannon skill first, you toss your grenade and then get a cleanup kill with your hand cannon, as this is another exceptional strength that once again, all hand cannons possess. Applying aerial combat to your repertoire of engagement scenarios is an absolute must to mastering hand cannons and knowing how to use them. The very last topic that I want to discuss about hand cannons is character movement / maneuverability. Hand cannons can be exploited using any character, but I have to admit that they are best suited to hunters. Hunters have the easiest capabilities to become airborne, allowing them to engage in aerial combat more frequently. This is due to hunters' jumping capacity, as it allows them to change direction on a dime while still staying in the air, and this simply can't be done on warlocks or titans. In addition to this, hunters have armor stats that give them a high mobility stat, and that mobility stat affects their walking speed. In other words, this converts to the strafing potential of Legolas from Lord of the Rings, as you guys are going to be going over every single elephant that you can possibly think of and absolutely eviscerate them to smithereens. Due to this key hunter trait, hand cannons fit them perfectly, but that certainly doesn't mean that hand cannons can't be used on titans or warlocks, as they certainly can. Within this video alone, I've utilized hand cannons on hunters, titans, and warlocks, applying all the same principles that we have already covered. But where titans and warlocks have an advantage over hunters is in their horizontal movement. All titans have strafe lift, and this allows for an amazing horizontal distance to be covered. While your character is doing this maneuver, you are also free to utilize hand cannons by blasting a few guardians while getting into cover. The warlock has blink as well as Icarus dash on 2 of 3 subclasses, allowing it to cover more horizontal distances, but in this case, hand cannon shots can only be done at the beginning and end of the maneuver, since blink and Icarus dash occur rapidly. With all of these innate abilities and attributes designed to each character, hand cannons can surely be used on hunters, titans, and warlocks. The only thing left to decide is which character to main so that you can master the hand cannon on that character perfectly. With all of these things being said, you now have a very solid understanding as to how to use hand cannons proficiently in the Crucible. By mastering a hand cannon's shot rhythm via resetting your shot technique, recoil pattern, and bullet sound, you will be able to compete and 110% win against meta weapons like the Uriel's Gift, Meta Multi-Tool, and of course the Last Hope. If you can discern when to engage in guerrilla warfare, aerial combat, or boots on the ground scenarios, and constantly change between those 3 types of engagements, not only will you become more unpredictable, but you will easily eviscerate, obliterate, decimate, and annihilate just about any guardian that you see, making them a little bit salty. Now let me know what you guys think about all this stuff down in the comment section below, and also if you happen to have any other tips that I didn't cover, please do mention those, as I'm always willing to learn new strategies. Lastly, go ahead and check out some of my other new videos, as you guys can see right there on the screen. If you happen to enjoy this one, they're definitely going to enjoy those as well. That's pretty much all I've got for you as of right now, and so as always, Deislayers, great gaming, until next time.